Now, the enthusiasm for PARP inhibitors is tempered a little bit by the knowledge that, well, maybe only about up to 25% of high-grade serous carcinomas actually harbor a BRCA mutation. So this group here was very interested in trying to identify a group of patients that were non-BRCA mutation carriers that may also benefit from, or maybe more sensitive to chemotherapy, and may also benefit from PARP inhibitors, those with a BRCA phenotype. And so they did, using microarray data, found a gene expression profile that did correlate with response to chemotherapy. As you can see here, there was a significant improvement in both disease-free and overall survival if those patients harbored this particular profile. Now, there are two major randomized studies that have been recently published in the Lancet Oncology, one just last month and I think one late in 2014. I think one of these studies was reviewed earlier. But this study here was in patients with platinum-sensitive relapsed ovarian cancer with at least 2 prior platinum-based regimens, and they were randomized to maintenance olaparib or placebo, with the primary endpoint being progression-free survival and secondary endpoints being overall survival and safety, as well as RECIST. So what they showed was that there was significant improvement in progression-free survival with olaparib compared to placebo, with a highly significant p-value. The major adverse events were nausea, fatigue, vomiting, and anemia, but overall was reasonably well tolerated. Interestingly, there was no statistically significant difference in improvement rates for health-related quality of life, and no statistically significant differences in time to worsening of health-related quality of life measures. Now, if we look at progression-free survival by BRCA mutation status, you can see that there is a significant improvement in progression-free survival, 11.2 versus 4.3 months in mutation carriers. However, there was still an improvement in progression-free survival in BRCA-negative patients, although if you look at the median progression-free survival, it was 5.6 versus 5.5 months, which we wouldn't think would be clinically meaningful. Now, if we look at overall survival in BRCA-mutated patients, you can see that there is no difference in overall survival as the survival curves converge. But one caveat is that about 25% of the patients in the placebo arm were allowed to switch to a PARP inhibitor, which may be responsible for the convergence.